Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? This is Sammy Lake here representing TeamJVS, here to give you guys another review. I've been doing reviews all day. But this review is for Disney's newest film, Strange World. Now, Strange World, whether you know or not, the voice acting cast is unparalleled. Like, it is insane. Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, Gabrielle Union, Dennis Quaid, Lucy Liu, Cara Sony, Alan Tudyk. Like, you got a monstrous cast, no pun intended. But Jake Gyllenhaal plays the role of Searcher. Cade and Dennis Quaid plays the role of Jaeger Clade. Now, Jaeger and Searcher, they're the world's famous explorers. They go and do all the things. Now, Jaeger is the dad, and he has a legacy he wants for his son. And they go on exploring, they see something, and they notice this plant, and Searcher's like, you know what, like, maybe we should go and check this out. And Jaeger's like, no, we got to continue on. And there's a divide that immediately happens between both individuals. Long story short, without spoiling anything, a lot of time passes, and their relationship basically disintegrates to the point that now Searcher is a grown man himself, and he's married to Gabrielle Union, is Meridian Clade, and they have a son named Ethan. Now, the funny thing about generational progression is always gonna be different. Like, it's never gonna be like, oh, okay, this person was this person gonna be that. You know, it's always up to the individual to accept who and what they are, as well as what they need in life and what they want in life. And I think at the cornerstone of this, that's what this is really truly about. Now, as far as the backdrop of this, as far as the story, Searcher knows for a fact that he has to go out and explore again, even though he didn't want to, because he's a farmer now, because life as you know it is in jeopardy. So he has to go and do that, no longer with his dad, but now he's gonna have to do it with his son, which is very fascinating. And so when they go out and exploring, they find a brand new world that has creatures and things and he's never experienced before, and he has no way of being able to not only protect himself, but also protect his son. And it makes for a very interesting ride. Now, as far as the animation is great. Like the imagination and I think the conceptual design of this is just amazing. Like, they really reached for this one. I thought it was very fascinating. I think the last time I saw something this interesting was probably, it was on Netflix. I think it was oh God, I can't think of it. It was, I can't think of it. I think it was The Sea Beast. Like, the way that they came up with random creatures, I think that this was very fascinating for Disney to do. I will talk about the perception of this movie and the reception of it. But let's just go ahead and talk about what it is as far as the film. I think the animation style is really great. I think that they did a good job with the scoring of it. The action is actually pretty well done, but at times it can be repetitive because it's kind of like you have a cause and effect situation. Like, you got like, oh, okay, this one thing you need to stop this. This one thing you need to go to do this. And it's kind of like at times boring because it's not a situation where you're like, oh, wow, like, what is about to happen? Like, there are moments like that, but as far as action is concerned, you know, you're kind of like, I know where this is gonna go, you know. At times you're kind of like, you question, especially the opening 30 minutes, you really don't know. But as time goes on, you're like, oh, okay, well, this happened, so this ain't gonna happen, kind of thing. But I think towards the back half, they definitely make up for that. I'll talk about that later. Now, with the voice acting cast, the cast is amazing. Like, Dennis Quaid is killing it as Jaeger. Like, he is doing such a great job as a voice actor with that. And I think that Jake Gyllenhaal, the thing about Jake as an actor, he understands emotion. And even through his voice, he can project a lot of different emotional things. I think he works very well with all the different cast members. Him and Gabrielle Union, they got great chemistry just off of their read-alongs. This is very fascinating. I think that Lucy Liu as Callisto, I think she was kind of underused in this one. They didn't really give her much to do, but her voice definitely works. Alan Tudyk is really just the narrator of this. I think that Jabuk as Ethan, I did like the character Ethan, but I don't know. You know, there's sometimes where you kind of have like the memorable family. You know, like The Incredibles, you have like a memorable family. With this, because of there's dissension going on with the father and son, it kind of makes the wife and the other son like secondary, if that sounds right. Even though they're great characters, even though like what they're doing is pivotal, at the core of it, you still feel that the core is really just Yeager and Searcher, not Yeager, Searcher, and Ethan, when it's like really totally is a generational thing. Matter of fact, the way that they like Ethan as a character, they do some things with Ethan that I don't think Disney's ever even tried to do, which is very fascinating. But I think that he's a good character. The weird thing about this film is that I really enjoyed it, but when and this doesn't have anything to do with the movie necessarily. Like the movie itself, I think it's an enjoyable one. I think if it's once you see this, once it gets to Disney Plus, I think a lot of people are gonna really enjoy it. Like I think that it's not something that I would necessarily jump to see this in the movie theaters, because it's not enough showcasing for that. But I do think it's a wholesome enough story, and I think it is, from a generational standpoint, there's good conversation that's had, but it's not revolutionary. Like it's not like, okay, I haven't seen Disney do better, so to speak, but I think it is good. I think it's definitely something you would watch. But if this was on Disney Plus, I think a lot of people would watch it and really enjoy it. So that's its own thing. Now, the thing I wanted to talk about is the marketing for this. I'm looking at this movie, but I don't remember ever seeing a trailer for it. And I'm a critic, and so I don't think that this was marketed a certain kind of way where it really could have been, to more people on the masses be able to talk about it. That's part of the reason I wanted to make sure I got my review out early for this, so you guys know, like, I think this is a really good time. Like, I talked about, I nitpick a lot of different things from a critical standpoint, but at its core, you got kids, I think you can watch this with your kids. Like, I've got a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. I think that they can watch this without me worried about something, them being concerned of seeing something they shouldn't see. I think it's wholesome. I think that the action is good enough that it's like, it keeps you engaged. I think it's enough, not just to be a background movie, but you can watch it with your family. And I think that's the most important thing more than anything. But again, would I watch this in the movie theater? I don't know. I think that's the very interesting thing when it comes to Disney. It's like, what Disney movies you think of, you gotta see in the theaters. Like Soul, I knew I had to see Soul in the movie theaters. And I don't know if it's because of that emotional gut punch or if it's something else, but with this, it was good enough that I'm like, I really want to see it, but I don't know if I want to see it in theaters. Raya and the Last Dragon, I really wish I would have saw it in theaters, like straight up. Even the Red Panda movie, like I kind of was like, that was something that could be in the movie theaters, but I don't know. It's very interesting. I'd rate this at a 7.5 out of 10. I think that as far as family is concerned, I think you can look at this and you can enjoy it. Like, I think there's enough that's interesting, weird creatures and characters, social interactions and comic moments that I think people would gravitate to watch it. So let me know what you guys think of Strange World. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace, people.